let's talk about multi-product break-even. So far, whatever we learned was when a company sells one single unit, or rather one single product of anything. So, for example, if a company sells, let's say, only one kind of calculators at the same, at obviously the same price, then you don't need what we are going to learn now. However, now we are going to learn if the company is selling multiple different products at different price levels, how do you find the break even point, right? How much of each product I need to sell to break even, because it's so much more complicated now. Because of course, now I have to figure out how much of this product I should sell, how much of that product I should sell, and so on. So that's what kind of what we mean by multi-product break even. Again, if you're selling a single product, you don't have other products with other prices, you don't need this topic. And you only need this topic when you're selling more than one product at different, of course, prices. So that's when this kind of calculation becomes absolutely necessary. Now, before teaching you how to do multi-product break-even, I always like to write down the steps, because when you follow steps, life is extremely easy. So you'll see what I mean by that, because people think this is a very complicated topic. It's not. It's just like if you follow the steps, you will be good. So I hope once you see me do the steps, and you'll realize, okay, I just need to know the steps. There's nothing else. So let's get to the steps. Step 1 is determine the sales mix. I will explain what everything is, by the way. Don't worry about that. Step 2, calculate the contribution margin per unit of each product. Step 3, calculate the weighted average contribution margin per unit. And step 4 is apply the break even in units formula if you're doing units, or dollars formula if you're doing dollars, but you can also apply units formula and then convert to dollars like very easily if you remember times by sales price. So that's not a problem. Apply the break even units formula, and once you do that, last step, multiply the break even units with sales mix of each product to find that product's break even units, or dollars, of course. Okay, so let me explain what these steps actually mean. First one is determine the sales mix. Now you have to understand that it's literally impossible for you to know the break even in a multi-product scenario if you don't have a predetermined sales mix. For example, if you don't have this idea of 30% of my sales need to be this product, 40% of my sales need to be this product, that's kind of what we mean by sales mix. Means how much of each product you want to sell, like what is the ratio of each product you want to sell, in the total 100%. So that's kind of sales mix is. If you're a student, it will always be given in the question, of course, there's nothing to worry about there. Second step is to find the contribution margin per unit of each product, which you already know is sales price of the product times minus variable cost of the product. Third step is to calculate the weighted average contribution margin per unit. For this, I will give you a formula here. Let me mention the formula right here. For weighted average contribution margin, formula will be contribution margin per unit multiplied by sales mix of product A. Let me also write product A here, so it's clear what I mean, of product A. So contribution margin per unit of product A times sales mix of product A plus contribution margin per unit of product B times sales mix of product B. Contribution margin per unit of product B times sales mix of product B, and so on. Like if it's a C product, you also do contribution margin of product C times sales mix of product C, and D. Like you just keep going. If you're a student, you'll get like 2-3 products, but if you're doing it for real life, you might have like 7 products. So you can just keep applying the same formula to the end. Okay. Then we apply the break even unit formula, which is the same as what we learned. It's the fixed cost divided by, in this case, weighted average contribution margin per unit, not the contribution margin per unit, because now we are not doing one product. It cannot be just contribution margin of one product. And then multiply the break even by sales mix of each product. So let's solve a question. I think in that case you'll see like exactly what I mean by everything, in case something wasn't clear. So in the coming video, that's exactly what we're going to do.